Hello class 8 students, welcome back to the Civics class. Today we are going to start our last chapter of Civics, which is Social Justice and the Marginalized. Learning Objectives. Scheduled Caste, SCs, other backward classes, OBCs, Social Justice and Indian Constitution, Scheduled Tribe, STs, Minorities and Marginalization, Affirmative Action through Reservation. Let's warm up. Look at the following pictures. Identify these pictures, analyze the causes and consequences of marginalization faced by the disadvantaged section in your own region. Application skills. This year Ms. Shikha had planned a visit to a nearby slum called Simapuri. In the bus, Ms. Shikha said, "Children, we will be entering a world different from ours. We are a part of a section of society that is fortunate to receive an education and enjoy a good economic and social status. However, there are sections of society that are not as fortunate as us. These groups have suffered exploitation and poverty for generations. They are called marginalized groups." What does marginalized means? What are the reasons behind marginalization? Let us find out. Scheduled caste. A caste which were formerly called untouchables in the society are called the scheduled caste. The Constitution of India does not define a scheduled caste. Mahatma Gandhi called them Harijans. They were placed on the lowest rung of the Hindu society. They had suffered for a very long time. They were held in the lowest esteem and looked down upon by the others as unclean. They lived outside the villages in the past. They were considered outcasts due to the nature of their professions. In this picture, you can see untouchables. They were found to be sweepers, cleaners, night soil collectors and leather tanners. They were considered unfit for human society or commingling. Many social reformers fought against the practice of untouchability. Steps taken for their uplift. Our constitution has some special provision to safeguard the scheduled caste against the exploitation. In this way, the constitution aims to protect their social, educational, economic and cultural interests. Some such steps are as follows. Untouchability has been abolished and its practice in any form has been made a punishable offence under Article 17. The scheduled caste cannot be denied entry to public places like temples, hotels, shops and restaurants. They cannot be discriminated against in using public wells and water tanks. In this picture, you can see no child can be denied admission to any school or institution maintained by the state on the basis of his caste. Seats are reserved for the scheduled caste in the educational institutions and in government jobs. To ensure the participation of the scheduled caste in the legislative process, some seats have been reserved for them in the Lok Sabha and in the Vidhan Sabhas. Certain constituencies have been reserved exclusively for the scheduled caste candidate to contest elections. The progress of the scheduled caste has been a major focus of the different 5-year plans. Separate welfare departments have been formed for them. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment was set up to look after the welfare of the scheduled caste. Scheduled tribes. The Constitution of India also does not define the term scheduled tribe. In simple words, we can say that the tribals who are socially and economically marginalized people mostly residing in forest and hilly areas are known as scheduled tribes. Officially recognized by the Indian government as scheduled tribes in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution, these people are often grouped together with the scheduled caste in the category of scheduled caste and tribes. The Gonds of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, the Bhils of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, and the Santals of Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal are among the largest tribal groups in our country. The tribes that inhabit the Andaman Islands are known as the Great Andamanis, the Jarawas, the Onge and the Sentinelese. These tribes are thought to have travelled to the Andaman Islands from Africa from almost 60,000 years ago. Steps taken for their uplift. Our constitution has provided the scheduled tribes with some special provisions to safeguard their rights and uplift their status. Some of them are as follows. To prevent any atrocities against the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act was enacted in 1989. The Ministry of Tribal Affairs was set up in 1999 to look into the socio-economic development of the scheduled tribes. The scheduled tribes have been given concessions and reservations just like the scheduled caste. Some seats have been reserved for them in educational institutions, government jobs, the Lok Sabha and in the Vidhan Sabha. Various welfare schemes have been introduced by the government and other voluntary agencies to reduce illiteracy among the scheduled tribes. This has helped in their economic development. The scheduled tribes can receive loans on easy terms. Their culture and handicraft are also promoted. Other backward classes. Other backward classes, OBCs, have been defined in our constitution as socially and educationally backward classes. They have also been given constitutional safeguards to improve their conditions. Article 340 states that the government shall promote the welfare of the OBCs. Article 341 states that the President is empowered to appoint a commission to investigate the condition of the socially and educationally backward classes. Steps taken for their uplift. The OBCs are given 27% reservation in the government jobs. The Government of India and the state governments have launched various schemes for the welfare of the OBCs, such as pre-examination coaching to enable the candidates to compete in various competitive examinations. The OBCs are given financial assistance through the pre-matric and post-matric scholarships. Interest-free loans are also given for technical education. Assistance is given to voluntary organizations who work for the welfare of the OBCs to impart education and to improve their socio-economic conditions and thus help them in gainful employment. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment looks after the welfare of the OBC. Minorities and marginalization. The term minority refers to a smaller part of a group. It is less than half or 50% of the total population in an area. As a minority group is numerically small in number in relation to the rest of the population, they are likely to be dominated and oppressed by the majority. Therefore, their interests have to be protected as the concept of the number may influence their access to resources and power. Thus, small size of a group can be a disadvantage and lead to the marginalization of relatively smaller communities. Therefore, our constitution provides for the protection of minority community against the possibility of being culturally dominated by the majority. It stresses the need to preserve, protect, and promote the religion, culture, language, and script of all minorities. Social justice and Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India aims at giving social and economic justice to all the citizens. The Constitution has made many provisions in the form of fundamental rights and directive principles in order to ensure social and economic justice for all the Indian citizens. The right to freedom gives the right to all citizens to choose the kind of work they want to do. The right to equality grants them the rights to get equal opportunities. The right against exploitation protects children being forced to work without pay. The right to freedom and cultural and educational rights ensure the minority groups follow their own beliefs and promote their language and traditions. The Constitution directs the government to provide early child care and education to children up to the age of 14. The government ensures fair wages for the workers and equal pay for men and women doing equal work. The Constitution also directs the government to help weaker section of society by providing free legal help and improving public health systems. Affirmative action through reservations. The term affirmative action is used for any policy formulated by the government to benefit underrepresented group and promote equal opportunity for its members in the areas of employment, education, and business. The term affirmative action was first used in the United States in the Executive Order 10925 signed by the then President John F. Kennedy on 6 March 1961. Fact file. The word Dalit means crushed or broken to pieces. Why do you think they are known as Dalits? In India, reservations in education and job opportunities are a form of affirmative actions which aim to improve the conditions of backward and underrepresented communities defined primarily by their caste. In keeping with this policy, a certain percentage of total available vacancies in government jobs has been set aside for people from backward communities such as the SCs, STs, and OBCs. Many citizens from the upper classes find the reservation policy of the government biased. They oppose it because they feel that it might take many more years to bridge the gap between the marginalized groups and privileged groups of society unless we follow a policy of protective or positive discrimination. Value and life skills. Engaging marginalized community is essential, and when done well, it leads to better decision making, empowered community members, and stronger ties between the local government and the people it serves. Recapitulation. Marginalization is a social process by which certain sections of the society are continued to a tower social standing. Our constitution guarantees equal rights to all its citizens. It also gives a special privilege to the backward and the less privileged sections of our society. The Shudras and the other marginalized groups were at the bottom of social status. They did menial jobs and were deprived of basic human rights. Untouchability is a crime punishable under law. Our constitution provides for the protection of minority community against cultural domination by the majority. Thank you, class. Let's meet again next time.